The alarm bells rang across Luna Base as Captain Jake Morrison stared at the screens in front of him. The sight made his blood run cold. 3,000 alien ships had appeared at the edge of the solar system, like ghosts materializing from the dark. Each vessel was massive and gleaming, built from some kind of crystal that caught the light from distant stars. They moved in perfect formation, silent and deadly. Jake had been stationed on Luna Base for 5 years. He had seen asteroid impacts and solar storms, but nothing like this. The alien fleet stretched across space like a metal city floating in the void. Each ship was 10 times larger than Earth's biggest warships. The humans watching the screens knew they were looking at their possible end. General Lisa Carter walked into the command center with quick steps. Her face was calm, but Jake could see the worry in her eyes. She had been preparing for this moment her whole career. But seeing it happen was different from planning for it. The weight of protecting Earth's 8 billion people rested on her shoulders. "Report," she said to the communications officer. "They sent a message 10 minutes ago." Lieutenant Steve Parker replied, "Broadcasting on all frequencies. The translation software is working on it now." The main screen flickered and showed an alien face. The creature looked like a mix between a lizard and a bird. Its skin was silver and its eyes were completely black. When it spoke, the translation appeared as text below the image. "I am Admiral Vestan of the Zephyrian Hegemony. We have conquered 17 worlds in this galaxy. Your planet Earth is now under our claim. You have 72 hours to surrender completely. Remove all weapons from your ships. Prepare your leaders for transfer to our vessels. Any resistance will result in the destruction of your entire species." The message ended and the screen went dark. The command center was silent for a long moment. Jake felt his hands shake as he gripped the edge of his console. 72 hours to give up everything humanity had built. General Carter turned to her staff. "Get me President Hayes on the secure line. Contact all fleet commanders. I want damage assessments on every ship we have." As the officers rushed to follow orders, Jake looked at the tactical display. Earth had 200 ships scattered across the solar system. Most were patrol vessels and cargo haulers. Against 3,000 alien warships, they looked like toys. The math was simple and terrifying. Far beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Kevin Shaw watched the same alien message from a very different place. His facility was buried 3 miles underground, hidden from all detection systems. The walls were lined with metal that blocked every kind of scan. Only 50 people in the entire world knew this place existed. Dr. Shaw was a thin man with gray hair and tired eyes. He had spent 15 years of his life in this underground complex, working on a project so secret that even most government officials did not know about it. As he watched Admiral Vestan deliver his ultimatum, Dr. Shaw smiled for the first time in months. "Amy, are you seeing this?" he called to his chief engineer. Amy Foster looked up from her computer terminal. She was young and brilliant, one of the best minds on the planet. Like Dr. Shaw, she had given up a normal life to work in the shadows. "Yes, sir. They came just like the projection said they would." "How long until our assets are in position?" Amy checked her screens. 48 hours. "Everything is moving according to plan." Dr. Shaw nodded. The alien admiral thought he was giving humanity an ultimatum. He had no idea that humans had been preparing for this moment for 15 years. Deep in space, beyond where any telescope could see, humanity's real defense was already moving into position. On Earth, panic spread through every major city. News channels showed the alien fleet on repeat. People flooded the streets, some running for bunkers, while others looked up at the sky in fear. The stock markets crashed. Governments around the world held emergency meetings. President Daniel Hayes sat in the White House Situation Room with his top advisors. The room was full of tension as military officers and politicians argued about what to do. Some wanted to fight immediately. Others thought surrender was the only way to save lives. "We can't fight 3,000 ships with 200. Defense Secretary Carol Murphy said. "The numbers are impossible, so we just give up?" General Carter asked through the video link from Luna Base. "We let them take our planet without a fight? What choice do we have?" President Hayes rubbed his forehead. "If we fight and lose, they kill everyone. If we surrender, maybe some people survive." The argument continued for hours. Nobody mentioned the real reason General Carter seemed so calm. She was one of only 12 people on Earth who knew about Project Nightfall. While the politicians debated surrender, she was coordinating with the most secret military operation in human history. Back on Luna Base, Jake Morrison received new orders. All ships were to pull back closer to Earth. The official reason was to protect the planet during surrender negotiations. Jake did not know the real reason was to draw the alien fleet into the perfect position for a trap. The Zephyrian ships moved closer to Earth, confident in their overwhelming advantage. Admiral Vestan had used the same strategy on 17 other worlds. Show massive force, demand surrender, and move in to occupy. It always worked. These humans would be no different from all the other species that had knelt before the hegemony. As the first day of the ultimatum ended, both sides prepared for what would come next. The aliens readied their occupation forces and planned how to divide Earth's resources. The humans appeared to be preparing for surrender, pulling their ships back and broadcasting messages about peaceful negotiations. But far out in the cold darkness beyond Pluto, something was stirring. Ships that had waited in silence for 15 years began to move. They were painted black as space itself and built with technology no human was supposed to possess. Their crews had trained their entire adult lives for this moment. Captain Lisa Park stood on the bridge of her ship and watched the tactical display. Around her, 1,000 vessels of the Black Armada held position in the outer darkness. Soon Admiral Vestan would learn that humans were very different from the other species he had conquered. Soon the hunter would become the hunted. 24 hours had passed since the alien ultimatum began. Across Earth, people watched the news with growing fear. The alien fleet had moved closer during the night, their crystal ships now visible through telescopes as bright dots against the black sky. Every hour brought them nearer to Earth and closer to the deadline. Captain Jake Morrison had not slept since the crisis began. He stood in the Luna Base command center watching transport ships flee Earth in all directions. Civilian vessels packed with families raced toward Mars and the outer colonies. The sight broke his heart, but he knew it was necessary. What looked like panic was actually part of a carefully planned deception. General Lisa Carter walked beside Jake and handed him a cup of coffee. "The evacuation is going well," she said quietly. "Faster than we hoped." Jake nodded but kept his eyes on the display. The aliens must think we're falling apart. Ships running everywhere, people screaming on the news channels. It looks like total chaos. "That's exactly what we want them to think," General Carter replied. She could not tell Jake the truth yet. Only a select few knew that the chaos was an act designed to make humanity appear weak and disorganized. In his underground facility, Dr. Kevin Shaw stood before a massive holographic display showing the solar system. Red dots marked the positions of Zephyrian ships while blue dots showed human vessels. But there was a third color on his private display that no one else could see. 1,000 green dots scattered throughout the outer system, invisible to all detection methods. Amy Foster worked at a bank of computers nearby. "All Black Armada units report ready status," she announced. "Captain Park confirms the fleet is in position." Dr. Shaw smiled. 15 years of work and we're finally here. Tell me about the weapon systems." "All ships are armed with plasma cannons powered by fusion cores," Amy reported. "The quantum torpedoes are loaded and calibrated. Each torpedo can phase through conventional shields like they don't exist." "And the stealth systems?" "Perfect. The light-absorbing hull coating makes them invisible to optical sensors. The quantum dampening fields hide them from gravitational detection. As far as the aliens know, we only have the 200 ships they can see." Dr. Shaw remembered the day this all began. 15 years ago, he was a young physicist working at a deep space monitoring station. His job was to watch for asteroids and solar storms, but what he found was much more dangerous. Strange energy signatures at the edge of the galaxy suggested a massive fleet moving toward Earth. The signals were faint and years away, but they were definitely coming. Most scientists dismissed his warnings as equipment errors. The signals were too far away and too alien to be real, but Admiral Peter Collins believed him. Collins was the head of Earth's defense forces, a man who understood that preparation was more important than hope. "If you're right about this fleet," Collins had told Dr. Shaw, "then we need to build something they won't expect. Something hidden." Project Nightfall began in secret with unlimited funding and the best minds on Earth. They built shipyards in the asteroid belt, hidden inside hollowed-out rocks. They developed new technologies based on fragments of an alien probe that had crashed in Antarctica decades earlier. Most importantly, they recruited people willing to give up normal lives to prepare for a war that might never come. Captain Lisa Park had been one of those recruits. She was a test pilot with the best reflexes in the Earth Defense Force when Admiral Collins approached her with an offer she could not refuse. Join a secret program that would train the greatest pilots in human history, or watch Earth fall to an alien invasion. Park accepted without hesitation. For 10 years, she trained with 999 other pilots in hidden facilities throughout the solar system. They learned to fly ships that officially did not exist. They practiced attack patterns against computer simulations of alien vessels. They prepared for a battle that the rest of humanity hoped would never happen. Now Captain Park stood on the bridge of the Shadow Strike, flagship of the Black Armada. Her ship was 2 miles long and bristled with weapons that surpassed anything in Earth's official fleet. The hull was covered in a material that absorbed light so completely that the ship looked like a hole in space. Status report. Park ordered her crew. Chief Engineer Ryan Clark looked up from his console. All systems green across the fleet. Stealth fields are holding steady. Weapons are charged and ready. Position? We're maintaining formation around the alien fleet. They're completely surrounded and don't know it. Park nodded. The Black Armada had spent 3 days moving into position, while the aliens focused on Earth's visible defenses. 1,000 ghost ships now formed a 3-dimensional cage around the Zephyrian fleet. When the time came to strike, the aliens would have nowhere to run. On Earth, the surrender preparations continued. President Hayes appeared on television to announce that humanity was considering the alien demands. Defense Secretary Murphy held press conferences about peaceful negotiations. To everyone watching, it looked like Earth was preparing to give up without a fight. But in secure bunkers and hidden facilities around the world, the real preparations were very different. Admiral Sam Brooks, the current head of Earth's military, coordinated with General Carter and Dr. Shaw. Every move was calculated to position the alien fleet exactly where humanity needed them. The Zephyrian ships moved closer to Earth, confident in their victory. Admiral Vestan watched the human evacuation from his command ship and felt satisfied. These creatures were behaving exactly like all the others his people had conquered. Fear made them predictable and weak. The humans are fleeing their planet, his tactical officer reported. Their defense fleet is pulling back toward Earth. They appear to be preparing for surrender. Excellent, Admiral Vestan replied. Begin moving the occupation forces into position. We will land on their planet in 36 hours and claim our newest conquest. The alien admiral had no idea that every human action was designed to draw his fleet deeper into a trap. The evacuation ships carried sensors that mapped every Zephyrian vessel. The retreating defense fleet was actually moving into attack positions. Most importantly, the surrender negotiations were buying time for the Black Armada to complete its preparations. As the second day of the ultimatum ended, both sides made their final moves. The aliens prepared for an easy victory over a broken enemy. The humans prepared to show their true strength. In the darkness beyond Neptune, 1,000 ships of the Black Armada waited for the signal that would change everything. Captain Park looked at the countdown timer on her display. 36 hours until the aliens expected Earth's surrender. But in 36 hours, Admiral Vestan would learn that humanity had been planning this moment for 15 years. The hunter was about to become the hunted. 12 hours remained until the alien deadline. Across Earth, the final act of humanity's greatest deception was about to begin. In the White House, President Hayes sat before cameras to deliver what the world believed would be Earth's surrender. His face was grave as he spoke to the planet and to the alien fleet watching from space. After careful consideration, President Hayes announced, Earth accepts the terms offered by the Zephyrian hegemony. We will power down our weapons and prepare for peaceful transition. We ask only that you treat our people with mercy. The message was broadcast on every frequency across the solar system. On Earth, people wept as they watched their leader surrender their world. On the alien ships, Admiral Vestan smiled with satisfaction. Another conquest was complete, and this one had been easier than most. But in the secret facilities where only a few humans knew the truth, a very different mood filled the air. General Lisa Carter watched the president's speech from Luna Base with Captain Jake Morrison beside her. Jake still did not know about the Black Armada, but Carter could see the confusion in his eyes. Why do you look so calm? Jake asked. We just surrendered our entire planet, Carter smiled. Sometimes the best way to win a war is to make your enemy think they've already won. She could not say more, but Jake would understand soon enough. In his underground command center, Dr. Kevin Shaw coordinated the final preparations. Amy Foster worked beside him, monitoring communications from across the solar system. On her screens, green dots showed the positions of 1,000 Black Armada ships surrounding the alien fleet, like invisible wolves circling their prey. All units report ready status, Amy announced. Captain Park confirms the fleet is in perfect position. Weapon systems? Fully charged and locked onto targets. The quantum torpedoes are calibrated to phase through their shields. Plasma cannons are at maximum power. Dr. Shaw nodded. Signal Admiral Brooks. Tell him we're ready to drop the hammer. Admiral Sam Brooks received the message in his command bunker beneath the Pentagon. He was one of the architects of this deception, working closely with Dr. Shaw to coordinate the greatest military trick in human history. While the world watched Earth surrender, Brooks was preparing to unleash humanity's secret weapon. All Earth Defense Force ships, this is Admiral Brooks. He transmitted on secure channels. Begin final positioning. Prepare for Operation Nightfall. The official Earth Defense Force fleet moved closer to Earth, appearing to take defensive positions around the planet. To the aliens, it looked like humanity was preparing to protect their world during the occupation. In reality, the ships were moving into attack formations that would support the Black Armada when the battle began. Captain Jake Morrison received movement orders for his ship, but did not understand their purpose. The patterns made no sense for a defensive formation. His vessel was ordered to position itself between Earth and the alien fleet, directly in the line of fire. It seemed like suicide, but orders were orders. This is crazy, Jake muttered to his tactical officer. We're flying right into their guns. Lieutenant Steve Parker checked his instruments. Maybe Command knows something we don't. They've been acting strange all day. Jake wished he could understand what was happening. The surrender felt wrong, and now they were moving into positions that made no tactical sense. He had served under General Carter for years, and trusted her completely. But this entire situation felt like madness. On the alien command ship, Admiral Vestan watched the human movements with satisfaction. Their ships were scattered and confused, exactly what he expected from a defeated enemy. His tactical officers reported that Earth's defenses were in complete disarray. The humans are positioning themselves around their planet, his tactical officer reported. Defensive formations only. No sign of weapons preparation. Perfect, Vestan replied. They know they cannot fight us. Begin moving occupation forces toward their major cities. Land the first wave in 6 hours. The alien admiral had conquered 17 worlds using the same strategy. Overwhelming force followed by quick occupation of key targets. The humans would be processed and cataloged like all the others. Their technology would be studied, their resources claimed, and their planet added to the hegemony. But Admiral Vestan had made a critical error. He assumed that all species would react to overwhelming force the same way. He had never encountered a species that could hide 1,000 warships in plain sight. He had never faced an enemy that could plan 15 years ahead and keep the entire operation secret from their own people. In the outer darkness beyond Pluto, Captain Lisa Park stood on the bridge of the Shadow Strike and watched the tactical display. The alien fleet was perfectly positioned, surrounded by Black Armada ships they could not detect. Every Zephyrian vessel was targeted by multiple ghost ships. When the attack began, the aliens would be destroyed before they could react. Final systems check, Park ordered her crew. Chief Engineer Ryan Clark worked at his console. Stealth field stable, all weapon systems green, quantum torpedoes armed and ready. Navigation, we're in perfect position. The entire fleet reports ready for coordinated attack. Park nodded. The Black Armada had trained for this moment for 10 years. Every pilot knew their role. Every ship knew its targets. When Admiral Brooks gave the signal, 1,000 ghost ships would appear from nowhere and turn the tide of battle in seconds. Lieutenant Commander Gary Foster, Park's tactical officer, studied the alien formations. Their ships are bunched together, perfect for our torpedoes to cause maximum damage. They have no idea we're here. They will soon enough, Park replied. As the hours passed, both sides made their final preparations. The aliens loaded their occupation forces and prepared to claim another world. The humans maintained the illusion of defeat while their secret weapon moved into position for the greatest surprise. Attack in military history. General Carter finally decided to tell Captain Morrison part of the truth. She brought him to a secure conference room and activated the signal blockers. Jake, what I'm about to tell you cannot leave this room. Earth is not surrendering. Jake stared at her in confusion, but the president just announced our surrender on every channel. That was theater. We've been planning this for 15 years. The aliens think they're about to occupy a defeated planet. Instead, they're about to learn why you never underestimate humanity. I don't understand. We only have 200 ships. They have 3,000, Carter smiled. We have more ships than they know. Much more. Before Jake could ask more questions, the alert klaxon sounded throughout Luna Base. Admiral Brooks's voice came over the communication system with words that would change everything. All units, this is Admiral Brooks. Execute Operation Nightfall. Repeat, execute Operation Nightfall. In the depths of space, 1,000 ships of the Black Armada received the signal they had waited 15 years to hear. Stealth fields powered down. Weapon systems came online. The greatest deception in human history was about to end with the fury of humanity's secret guardian fleet. The moment Admiral Brooks gave the signal, space itself seemed to come alive. Across 1,000,000 cubic kilometers around the alien fleet, reality shimmered and twisted as 1,000 ships materialized from the void. The Black Armada appeared like deadly shadows emerging from a nightmare, their black hulls absorbing starlight until they looked like holes torn in space itself. On the bridge of the Shadow Strike, Captain Lisa Park felt her heart pound as her ship dropped its stealth field. After 15 years of hiding in the darkness, the Black Armada was finally revealed. Around her, the tactical display showed green dots surrounding red ones in a perfect three-dimensional cage. The aliens were trapped. This is Captain Lisa Park of the Earth Defense Force Black Armada. She broadcast on all frequencies. Admiral Vestan, you demanded our surrender. Instead, we offer you this single chance to withdraw your forces and leave our system immediately. You have 60 seconds to begin your retreat. On the alien command ship, Admiral Vestan stared at his screens in complete shock. Where moments before there had been empty space, massive human warships now surrounded his entire fleet. His tactical officers scrambled to understand what they were seeing, but their computers could not explain how so many ships had appeared from nowhere. How is this possible? Vestan demanded. Where did these ships come from? His chief tactical officer studied the readings with growing alarm. Unknown, Admiral. These vessels were not detected by any of our sensors. They appear to be using technology beyond our current understanding. Analyze their weapons. Tell me what we're facing. The scans are strange, sir. Their energy signatures don't match anything in our databases, and their hull materials are absorbing our sensor beams. We can barely get readings on them at all. Admiral Vestan had conquered 17 worlds and fought hundreds of battles. He had never seen technology like this. The human ships seemed to bend light around them, making them hard to target even when they were visible. Worse, there were so many of them. 1,000 ships against his 3,000 should still favor the hegemony, but these humans had caught him completely by surprise. Captain Park watched her countdown timer reach 0. The aliens had not responded to her ultimatum. All ships, this is Shadow Strike. Execute attack pattern Alpha. Target their command vessels first. The Black Armada moved with deadly precision. Ships that had trained together for 10 years flowed through space like a coordinated dance of death. Their engines, powered by fusion cores that officially did not exist, pushed them to speeds that made the alien pilots struggle to track them. Lieutenant Commander Gary Foster worked his tactical console with practiced efficiency. Target locked on the alien command ship. Quantum torpedoes armed and ready. Fire, Captain Park ordered. The Shadow Strike launched 4 quantum torpedoes at Admiral Vestan's flagship. The weapons were humanity's greatest secret, developed from technology found in the crashed alien probe decades earlier. Unlike conventional missiles, quantum torpedoes could phase through matter, making shields and armor useless against them. The torpedoes struck the alien command ship and phased directly through its crystal hull, before exploding inside. The massive vessel shuddered and began to list as internal explosions tore through its structure. Vestan was thrown to the deck as his bridge filled with smoke and sparks. Across the battlefield, the same scene played out as hundreds of Black Armada ships opened fire simultaneously. The plasma cannons mounted on human vessels cut through alien hulls like cutting tools through paper. The quantum torpedoes phased through every defense the Zephyrians could raise. Chief Engineer Ryan Clark monitored the ship's systems as they fired volley after volley. All weapons functioning perfectly. Plasma cannons at full power, torpedo tubes cycling normally. Captain Park watched the battle unfold on her tactical display. In the first 10 minutes of combat, over 400 alien ships had been destroyed or disabled. The Black Armada had not lost a single vessel. The element of surprise combined with superior technology was devastating the Zephyrian fleet. On Luna Base, Captain Jake Morrison stared at his screens in amazement. The mysterious ships that had appeared from nowhere were tearing through the alien fleet with incredible efficiency. Their movements were too coordinated to be anything but Earth vessels, but he had never seen technology like this. "My God," Jake whispered. "Where did these ships come from?" General Lisa Carter stood beside him with a satisfied smile. "They've been out there all along, Jake, waiting for this moment. The greatest secret in human history just saved our entire species." The tide of battle had shifted so dramatically that alien ships began breaking formation and fleeing toward the edge of the system. But the Black Armada was ready for this as well. Captain Park had positioned ships to block every escape route. The aliens found themselves trapped in an ever-tightening noose of human vessels. Admiral Vestan struggled to his feet on his damaged bridge. Emergency lighting cast strange shadows on the crystal walls as damage reports flooded in from across his fleet. Half his ships were already destroyed or disabled. The others were scattered and demoralized. "All ships fall back to the edge of the system," he ordered. "Regroup for counterattack," but there was nowhere to fall back to. Black Armada ships appeared wherever the aliens tried to retreat, cutting off escape routes and forcing them back into the kill zone. The humans had planned for every possibility. Captain Park opened a channel to the alien flagship. "Admiral Vestan, your fleet is surrounded and outgunned. Surrender now, and we will allow your surviving ships to leave this system. Continue fighting, and we will destroy every vessel in your fleet." On his burning bridge, Admiral Vestan faced the hardest decision of his military career. The hegemony had never surrendered to any species, but the hegemony had never faced humans before. These creatures had hidden a massive fleet for years and struck with technology that made his own ships look primitive. "How did you do this?" he asked over the communication channel. "How did you hide so many ships?" "The same way we're going to defeat you," Captain Park replied. "By being smarter than you expected us to be." The battle continued as more alien ships fell to the coordinated attacks of the Black Armada. The Zephyrian formation collapsed completely as panic spread through their ranks. Ships that had seemed invincible hours earlier now fled in terror from human vessels they could barely damage. Dr. Kevin Shaw watched the battle from his underground facility with tears of relief in his eyes. 15 years of work and sacrifice had led to this moment. Amy Foster stood beside him, monitoring communications from across the battle zone. "All Black Armada units report successful engagement," Amy announced. "Enemy fleet strength reduced by 60% and falling. Any losses on our side?" "None reported. The aliens can't target our ships effectively. Their weapons aren't designed to track vessels moving at our speeds." Dr. Shaw nodded. The human ships were smaller and faster than anything the aliens had faced before. Combined with their advanced stealth technology and superior weapons, the Black Armada was proving unstoppable. Admiral Vestan made his decision as another explosion rocked his ship. "All vessels, this is the flagship. I am requesting terms for surrender. Repeat, I am requesting terms for surrender." The hunter had become the hunted. The species that had conquered 17 worlds was now begging for mercy from the humans they had planned to enslave. In less than 1 hour, the greatest military force in the galaxy had been broken by Earth's secret guardian fleet. The surrender message from Admiral Vestan echoed across space as the Zephyrian fleet stopped fighting. Burning alien ships drifted between the black vessels of humanity's secret armada, while rescue pods fled from exploding hulks. In 1 hour, the greatest invasion force in galactic history had been reduced to scattered survivors begging for mercy. Captain Lisa Park stood on the bridge of the Shadow Strike and watched the alien flagship limping toward the edge of the system. Half of Vestan's command ship was gone, torn apart by quantum torpedoes that had phased through every defense. The remaining alien vessels clustered around their crippled leader like lost children. "This is Captain Park to all Black Armada units," she broadcast. "Cease fire. Form escort positions around the surviving alien vessels. Any ship that attempts to break formation will be destroyed." The ghost ships of humanity's secret fleet moved into new positions with the same deadly precision they had shown during the battle. 1,000 black vessels surrounded the 300 surviving Zephyrian ships like guards escorting prisoners. The hunters had become the hunted in the span of a single hour. On Luna Base, Captain Jake Morrison finally understood what he had witnessed. General Lisa Carter had revealed the truth about the Black Armada during the battle, explaining how humanity had spent 15 years preparing for this invasion. Jake stared at the tactical displays showing Earth's secret fleet in absolute amazement. 1,000 ships, Jake said quietly. 1,000 ships hidden for 15 years. How did you keep it secret? General Carter smiled. The same way we won this battle, Jake, by planning ahead and never giving up. The Black Armada wasn't just built in secret. It was crewed by people who volunteered to give up normal lives to protect Earth. But the technology, those weapons and engines are decades ahead of anything we have. Officially, yes. But we've been working with alien technology since before you were born. A probe crashed in Antarctica 40 years ago. We've been studying it ever since. Jake shook his head in wonder. And nobody knew? Not even people like me? The more people who knew, the greater the chance the aliens would discover our preparations. Only 50 people on Earth knew the full scope of Project Nightfall. Everyone else, including you, was kept in the dark for their own protection. As the Black Armada escorted the defeated alien fleet toward the edge of the solar system, the rest of humanity began to learn the truth. President Hayes appeared on television again, but this time his message was very different from his earlier surrender announcement. My fellow humans, the president began, what you witnessed today was not our defeat, but our greatest victory. For 15 years, Earth has been preparing for this invasion through a classified program called Project Nightfall. The Black Armada that saved our world represents the dedication and sacrifice of thousands of people who worked in secret to protect our future. Across Earth, people watched in amazement as the truth was revealed. The panic and despair of the surrender announcement gave way to celebration and pride. Children who had hidden in bunkers now ran outside to see the black dots of humanity's guardian fleet visible in the night. Sky Doctor Kevin Shaw emerged from his underground facility for the first time in months to address the world. Standing before cameras in the Rocky Mountains, he looked tired but proud as he explained how the project had begun with signals detected at the edge of the galaxy 15 years earlier. We had a choice, Dr. Shaw said. We could hope the aliens would be peaceful, or we could prepare for war. We chose to prepare. The Black Armada exists because thousands of people believed that freedom was worth any sacrifice. Amy Foster stood beside Dr. Shaw as he spoke. She had given up her 20s to work in the underground facility, missing weddings and family gatherings to build weapons that might never be used. Now she knew the sacrifice had been worth it. The quantum torpedoes and plasma cannons were developed from alien technology we found decades ago, Dr. Shaw continued. But the real secret was not our weapons. It was our ability to work together toward a goal most people could not even imagine. On the alien command ship, Admiral Vestan sat in his damaged bridge and tried to understand what had happened. His species had conquered 17 worlds using superior technology and overwhelming force. No other species had ever hidden a fleet this large or struck back with such devastating effectiveness. How did they do it? He asked his tactical officer. How did they hide 1,000 ships? We are still analyzing their technology, Admiral. Their stealth systems are unlike anything we have encountered. They appear to use quantum field manipulation to bend light and gravity around their vessels. And their weapons? Based on our own technology, but improved beyond our current capabilities. They somehow made our quantum phase technology work on a much larger scale. Admiral Vestan realized he was looking at a species that had taken the best of alien science and made it better. The humans had not just copied Zephyrian technology, they had improved it and used it against its creators. Captain Park opened a communication channel to the alien flagship as they approached the edge of the solar system. Admiral Vestan, you and your surviving ships are being escorted out of this system. Any attempt to return will be met with immediate destruction. Tell your people that Earth is under the protection of the Black Armada. We understand, Vestan replied. But this will not end here. The hegemony will send larger fleets, more ships than even your hidden armada can face. Let them come, Captain Park answered. Earth has been preparing for this war for 15 years. We'll be ready for whatever you send next. As the alien fleet crossed the edge of the solar system and jumped to faster-than-light travel, the Black Armada turned back toward Earth. For the first time in 15 years, The ghost ships were visible to the entire human population. Children pointed at the sky and asked their parents about the black dots moving among the stars. Admiral Sam Brooks promoted several key figures from the Black Armada in a ceremony broadcast around the world. Captain Park became the new head of Earth's expanded Deep Space Defense Force, while Chief Engineer Ryan Clark was put in charge of developing even more advanced technologies. Dr. Shaw announced that humanity would continue studying captured Zephyrian vessels to improve their own defenses. This victory was just the beginning, he told the world. The galaxy is full of species that might threaten Earth. We will be ready for all of them. The final scene showed Earth from space, no longer a target for conquest but recognized throughout the galaxy as a world that refused to surrender. The Black Armada patrolled openly now, their black hulls gleaming in the light of Sul as they protected the blue planet that had given birth to them. In command centers across Earth, military officers worked with Black Armada veterans to expand humanity's defenses. New shipyards began construction of additional ghost ships. Training programs opened to recruit the next generation of pilots who would carry on the tradition of the secret fleet. The message spread across human space and beyond. Admiral Vestan had demanded surrender, but Earth had released its Black Armada instead. The hunters from the Zephyrian hegemony had learned that humanity's greatest strength was not superior firepower, but superior planning and the determination to never give up. The species that had conquered 17 worlds had met their match in the children of Earth who refused to kneel.